All right, guys. Welcome back. We are going to go over some weird stuff with an Australian man and his doll. We're going to recap Mayfield Witches, and we're going to go to the things that you may not know about The Fifth Element, the cult classic, tonight, right here on The Rundown. Just in case if we're not lagging, let's keep it going. I'm going to push through it, guys. Welcome back to another episode of The Rundown. I'm your host, Chris Fagan. We're going to talk about entertainment news and give you our thoughts on it. So let us know in the comment section. We are having some technical difficulties. I'll admit it. I've made some adjustments in the settings, so maybe it's all my fault. So, well, babe, let me ask you. You see it? Does it look like I'm animating properly?
I think it's catching up.
It's catching up. It's good. All right, good. All right, 3, 2, 1, and we're back. All right, joining me today on The Rundown is the one and only Joy Fagan. How you doing, baby?
I'm good.
Good. All right, use your big girl voice. Sorry, no. And also joining us is Tabitha. Which one you would prefer?
I'm Jordan.
Jordan.
I know I'm hyphenated.
I got to fix your lower third.
Yeah, I'm a hyphenated last name.
There
That's
we
really
go.
what it is.
There we go.
Jordan.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. That's my fault. All right, guys. Like I said, we're gonna go over the topics of the week. So let's get right into it because I'm determined for a tight 30. Today, is there anybody in the chat, in the live chat? It says two. It says 2 at the top, but it doesn't show my thing. If you guys are in the chat, say something in the comment section. I would appreciate it because I want to know.
Give us a howdy.
Give me a howdy. No, give me a duty. I don't need a howdy. All right, let's go. Let's get into the first topic of the week for entertainment news. You guys know what's going on with entertainment news. Let's get it. Into that. I would do the whole before we start thing, but you guys know what it is. You guys know how the rundown works. Let's just go right into it. So for entertainment news, we have from Netflix. So Netflix has ordered a second season of Wednesday. And I thought that would be something cool to talk about because I thought you guys would be excited about what's happening with Netflix. We're chilling with Netflix again.
No, we're Netflix chill.
You see what I did there? You like that?
Yeah, I see what you did.
With the whole thing, we got a howdy in the conversation. That was from Joy. Okay, that way. Thank you. Tabs, I know you were excited about hearing the news about Wednesday. What are your thoughts about the fact that Wednesday is back?
I'm very excited because I really, really wanted there to be a second season. Mm-hmm. I totally dug the way they did the show and how they sort of brought in the old school style of Addams Family and kind of took to that. So I'm thrilled that it's happening because I was a little worried that it wasn't, to be quite honest.
Yeah. What about you, babe? What do you feel about the fact that Wednesday is back?
Oh, I'm super excited. I know the girls were excited. Jasmine and Natalie were like...
Oh, they caught up?
Oh, they watched it way back.
Yeah. Did you when me and you finished it together?
Together. Well, Natalie had already finished it.
Yeah.
And Jasmine had watched it too, so they were ready.
Oh yeah, I was ready on it, and then I enjoyed the show as well. And going into some further details and some news about it because there was something that came in. This came in from Deadline. I'll go full mass on this if my computer allows me. What's going on here? Once again, with the technical difficulties, I'll try that again. Let's see if I can fix that. Nope, that's not it. What is going on with the computer? There we go. I don't know what's happening. This comes in from Deadline. For the remaining few who haven't watched Wednesday, offers a new take on the Addams Family. Wednesday ranks at number 2 on the most popular English TV list with 1.237 billion hours viewed within its first 28 days and overtook Dahmer to become the second most watched U.S. show behind season 4 of Stranger Things. What's most unique about the series is how the Netflix biggest rival, Amazon, is responsible for the series after it closed an $8.5 billion deal when it bought MGM. See, what a lot of people don't know, and I think we talked about it here on the show, is that MGM is one of the producers, or is the producer of Wednesday, but they sold the show, to Netflix. So it was a whole thing. Will MGM, now that they see how this show, how great this show
they gonna
is.
try
I
to
don't think
move
it
it?
wasn't ever a question of would it get a season 2. It was
Where it was
Where?
going to be.
I was a little worried it wasn't going to get it. Like I thought
That it wasn't going to get a season 2 at all?
Yeah, because Netflix had this whole thing of like giving you shows that seemed to be complete and utter hits across the board, public wise and stat wise, and then they don't do a season 2.
I think Amazon would have taken.
But Amazon would have definitely taken it. But you're right. Even the shows that were hits would sometimes only get one
season.
If they have to be like mega hits
Yep.
for them to continue getting like Stranger Things and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this one did hit those Stranger Things and Dahmer numbers. So, but you're not wrong. That's just that was the thing. But I thought after the way it trended and everything like that, it was a no-brainer. But the fact that Amazon owns the rights to it or is the main producer of it, they could have just kept it and was like, oh, we're definitely going to have season 2 stream on Amazon Prime instead of on Netflix. So I'm sure Netflix had to pay so much money to, and they probably will never tell us what that amount was. So many billions, or not billions, but hundreds of millions of dollars to keep it on Netflix, because Netflix is like that. They're like, you know what? You're greenlit. You got an idea? You're already greenlit. I don't need to hear the idea. You're good. But when they have a mega hit like this, they will cream in their pants to keep it. Oh, for a lack of a better word. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up the cream. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
But yeah,
we can work past it.
We can move on past that. But guys, let us know what you guys think about the whole. Are you excited about Wednesday being brought back to the table? What do you expect? I'm curious on whether or not if they're listening to the fans about the love interest making the two roommates, Wednesday and her roommate, become a thing. Maybe by season 3.
I hope they don't.
You don't want to force that?
No. I don't think that needs to be forced. I think there's other avenues where they could create representation of the LGBTQ community within that show. It does not need to be Wednesday and her roommate, which just feels forced, and it feels like a very forced storyline. And so, and it's very predictable. I would rather them stay close friends. I would rather them be this concept of friendship and her creating an understanding of a connection and feelings towards a friendship with that best friend who is complete opposite of her. And I think that's a better storyline versus if they were a love interest. Yeah,
well, that's a good point. Maybe experiment. I don't know. But let us know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it maybe on an upcoming episode when We Got Your Mail. Moving on to the next topic, I am so excited to talk about this one. If you guys haven't heard, let me go full mass here. So there's some news out there in Australia. A man in Australia has begun a serious relationship with his sex doll. His girlfriend erupted over her man's intimate relationship with the plastic dolls, Karina and Lauren. He says, we argued about it and she didn't understand. Guys, what's not to understand? I mean, come on. I mean,
that's not a relationship. That's pretend.
I think that is offensive that you would say that. No,
I don't kink shame.
No,
I'm not a household of kink shaming. But what I want to understand is, why is the girlfriend with him if his interests lie within the dolls? Just let the man be with the dolls. If she's not receiving anything, like,
I don't have you can do whatever you want to do. Have a good time. It's more the, I hope you, if you are really believing in your mind that they are real, then you need some help.
Well,
the story doesn't say anything about him thinking that they're real. He wants to keep them in his life.
As long as you have the grasp on reality that you're just having a good time, then go have a good time.
Maybe it's if she's like on the time of the month and she doesn't like to do it on that time, and he needs a little release.
It's way more than that.
Okay, so I'll be honest. Here's where I think that it's a little unfair for the poor guy, and I hate that I'm doing this, but these women that buy these real baby dolls to like deal with their issues of loss, and then also their issues of maybe not being able to have children or something like that. I could see where someone could make the argument that this, even though it's sexual, because sexuality is a very important part of people's humanity and them being a person, that I could see this being an argument to that is why he's developed
think
these feelings, these things, and so I get real hesitant
with
about
anything. You know, you get people that get upset about porn and different things. As long as it's not overtaking everything. So if you have an actual relationship with a live person, if you're doing other things on the side that don't interfere with your relationship, then have a
By all
good time.
means.
But when that is overtaking and you have forgotten the other person existed.
Well, there's
a
in the
big
report
problem.
there's nothing that says that anything was overtaken. It's just that the fiance says she doesn't want it anymore.
So my point is then don't be with him.
Yeah.
Like at this point, it's a mute point. Obviously, he is more concerned about the quote unquote relationships he has with the dolls and not the real person.
The relationships with Karina
and Lauren.
Well,
yeah.
he's got now online success. So of course, if he's getting
He's probably getting donated. He's probably getting
then,
sponsored.
Yeah, of course he's going to keep.
Absolutely, she needs to move on.
Yeah.
If this is his priority and this is his want, she is not going to be able to change that, and it is not worth her time, energy, or effort to participate.
Here's the question before I move on. Okay.
Oh God.
Joy's already made it clear she doesn't share. It's not happening.
Okay.
Sharing is not happening. Whatever.
More than y'all two.
Is happening is not happening. With something like this, be even. What about that? Is that even technically a 3?
Like if he.
What do you think about?
If he was to get a doll.
I'm not asking for me. I'm not asking. For me. I'm not doing that.
This is the thing. What I'm talking about. I don't know these people, but if they're in a relationship and she's like, "Hey, honey, I want some time tonight," and he's like, "I'm tired. I've been having fun all day."
Yeah, then he can go into the basement with
then we have a problem because that should not overtake
I agree
our
with that.
relationship.
Right.
I
agree with that.
What if this was just a stress relief? What if this is for medical purposes?
Now, the other side of that coin is if you're tired, you're like, go play with your dolls.
There you go. Right? I'm thinking it would be great, right? No, Joy is like, don't even think about it. Like Joy would be like, I can't believe you wasted you spent $3,000 for me to watch me throw this in the garbage. Yeah. But guys, let us know what you guys think about this whole thing. About let me switch to Joy's like, get the camera off me. About this whole thing with this. What are you like? Whose side are you on? Are you on her side, his side, or the doll side? Let us know in the comments below, and maybe we'll talk about it later if there's any updates on it, because that was I can't wait to talk about that again.
Yeah.
What is we were gonna go further than that, but we run out of time. So I'm determined for a tight 30. Let's move on to the next.
I've never
topic.
seen him move this fast.
Oh yeah, that's what she said. Let's go into the next topic. I am shaking or baking tonight. I am on fire right now.
Well, stop complimenting yourself and let's get to it.
And before we get to the review, since we are ahead of schedule, me and Joy are about to make out for 3.5 minutes. No, just joking like that. No, actually, there was something else that came up. Let me see if I can go back to the topics real fast. There was something else before I get into the reviews that I wanted to talk about. The fact that, and this wasn't really on the show notes or anything like that, but I wanted to talk about this real quick. The Last of Us. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the trailer or anything, or if you played the video game. I've only played the video game for a little bit, but I'm a Peter Pascal fan, and I am so excited about The Last of Us coming out. I can't wait to see this. I know this is going to be the next House of Dragons or Game of Thrones type of level. I mean, it's HBO. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's going to be huge. I'm excited about seeing that. I can't wait to see that show. So we're definitely going to cover it when it starts. Before we go into the reviews, Tabs, what do you think about? Have you seen the trailers? Or are you excited about this?
I am actually. I'm excited about it, of course, for a few reasons. Just because I like the vibe of how the trailer looked, but because of the actors. Yeah. I love the girl that's in this. She's of course from Game of Thrones and stuff like that.
Both of them are.
Yeah, and so but I think her specifically, she's sort of like this breakout, amazing young actress who is really being shown her growth and abilities to work in this industry with these kind of roles, and I'm just very excited to see what she's doing with it.
Babe, do you have any intentions of seeing The Last of Us, or y'all know you're not a horror person?
Don't know a thing about it.
It's based on the video game.
Don't know a thing about it.
She's like,
Zombies.
nothing. She's like, I got nothing.
Peter Pascal.
Never heard of it. Never seen it.
We'll get her on. We'll get her on there because I'm pretty sure it's going to be the next Atwow or
you think so?
Or Hot D or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be the next one. What is it? The Last of Us. There. What is it? Low. Yeah. The acronym doesn't really work for The Last of Us.
No.
The Low. Yeah, doesn't really work. The Lou. Yeah, doesn't work. But I'm excited about it. Let me know if you guys are looking forward to that. But let's get into the review part of the show. So me and Joy, we watched. Oh no, you said you didn't check it out.
I haven't seen it yet.
A lot of if my computer wants to act right, which it doesn't for some weird reason. I don't know why my computer is acting up. It won't let me drop this in. That's what she said. It won't let me do it.
Maybe you have too many open.
I got too many things open. Let me see if I can start this over. Let me start over. Let me see if this works. Technical difficulties. There we go. All right. Let me go full mass here. Mayfair Witches. Me and Joy watched it last night, and we were going to give a quick little review on it and give you our thoughts on it. Babe, what did you think? I'll start with you. What did you think about Mayfair Witches when we watched it yesterday?
I mean, it has potential. The first episode was a little slow because...
Which a lot of shows are, because you got to introduce
Which
everything.
I know you didn't like, that we were getting a lot of flashbacks, but there's no reference that it is a flashback.
Yeah.
You're still
So you
figuring
have
out the
no
timeline
idea.
thing.
There was time jump
that
things
this is
happening.
Like
yeah.
The Witcher,
Well,
because The Witcher did that in the very beginning.
But The Witcher
too.
did it better.
I don't know. I was very confused the first time I watched
I had
it.
it figured out, and I was like, "Oh, I think this is." And he was like, "How do you figure that out? It doesn't look any different."
Yeah.
I was like, "I just the context, I guess."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, there's no 5 years ago, 20 years ago. There's nothing.
Yeah. I think the concept of Interview with a Vampire, I mean, when we already know what we were kind of getting into from the movie and everything, and if you haven't read the books and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just speaking for as a person who hasn't read any of the books. Knowing what I was getting into with Interview with a Vampire, I was excited about it. The fact that they made Louis, black and things like that, I was excited about it. I knew nothing about Mayfair Witches except for who the star is. That in my single days she would have been on my list, but we're not going to talk about that. Wait for Joy to slap me. But I was the things that confused me about the first episode and whatnot. Like Joy said, I saw the potential in it, and I'm hoping that the low rate it's already got like mixed reviews and things like that. But it's probably because you're comparing it to what we got with Interview with the Vampire. I'll admit that this episode didn't start off so great, but there's so much potential there.
I mean, the little what's coming they play at the end. It wasn't really like next episode. It was like the whole season. Little
Was this an hour show? Yeah, it was an hour. Right?
Looks like there's some exciting things that are coming. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that it will keep building. I liked it okay. I didn't hate it or anything. It just it was a little.
It's not a
But
good
I feel
idea.
like this is on brand though for Anne Rice's stories. So I haven't seen the episode yet, but her stories do kind of start off with a lot of information in the beginning, setting the scenes. That's sort of kind of like her style.
But I mean,
of
I know
things.
when Chris and I caught up to Yellowstone.
Oh yeah, that first episode.
That first
was
episode
brutal.
was like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And
It
it
was
took
brutal.
us like 3 days because we kept stopping, and it was almost like, are we even gonna watch this?
Yeah.
And once we got past like the 2 episodes, we were like, okay, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
It had to get past that.
The lo-
The little
Get
hump
into it,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
The lore and everything we're dealing with witches and whatnot. It was very interesting. I like the character. If it wasn't for that hot sex scene, I probably would have tapped out. I was like, okay, good. You're all right, AMC. You saved it. You saved it. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Reminded me of I was telling Joy in the middle of that sex scene. I was like, yeah, this is why she's loved right now. I don't know if she was a Disney one of the Disney kids from back in the day, but when she was on the TV show True Detective, she shocked the world. I remember that when she shocked the world when she was with Woody Harrelson and doing that very explicit sex scene. So I'm glad that she's gone back to the sex scene roots, and I'm in now. I am invested. I'm here with you.
I mean, I can't complain. I could not complain.
Well, watching her in a sex scene. It was with the guy.
Yeah, I still can't complain.
But she was on top.
Was he there, really?
But she was on top.
Was he there? I don't think he was there.
You know what? It's funny that you said that. Because if you watch, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
I haven't seen it yet.
If you watch the scene, asking that question made a lot of sense.
Was he really there?
His feelings. His feelings were there.
But was he?
Was he there? It's like from White Man Can't Jump. You hear me, but are you listening? So, I see the potential in this show. I'm gonna continue on. Episode 1 made me go, okay, I'm going to see episode 2. But I'm hoping that I hope that crossover with, because we saw in the report that a crossover with, because this is set in present time, but then I thought, well, so is Interview with a Vampire. He's just telling a story, but it is also set in present time. So I'm curious on what that crossover is going to be. But if this whole show is only based on I can't wait for the crossover, then it's already a failure. If it needs Interview with a Vampire to be relevant, this show is not going to make it.
I don't know if that's necessarily the way to look at it, though. Maybe
I'm talking about from the fans.
Yeah, but from a fan point of view, maybe it's not that it needs Interview with a Vampire, but maybe that's because, like, for somebody like me who reads all these paranormal romances and stuff, For me, I read all these paranormal romances where each individual book is its own story, but it also leads into a bigger story.
Right.
So it's the same sort of like setup in my mind where, yes, it's not that it needs Interview with a Vampire, but it feeds into the bigger storyline where they all connect. Well, you can
definitely tell just by watching this first episode that it's like Interview with a Vampire in that we talk about so many periods.
Yeah.
And we haven't even gotten to them all.
That's a comparable thing. We just know
there's a very, this has been going on who knows how long.
Right.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all finishes out. Guys, let us know what you guys think about what if you saw Mayfair Witches and your thoughts on it. What'd you think about that sex scene? I thought it was great. It made me want to subscribe to AMC Plus, but I mean, we'll talk about that later, or maybe tonight on the if we go after dark. If you donate enough on super chats and stuff, we'll go into Mayfair Witches After Dark Rundown Edition.
I mean,
where I will get so explicit, it'll make your toes curl.
I don't know about that.
Your eyes watering,
yes.
It'll make the song WAP sound like a Sesame Street theme.
They might pay you to not do that.
I was going to say, can you pay him not to?
It is disgusting what I will do.
Somebody please pay
talking
him
about
not
this
to.
show.
I feel very threatened.
Mayfair Bitches is what we'll call my review. Mayfair, look at Tabitha's going crazy over here. I'm gonna the Mayfair Bitches review is what I'll call it. We'll call it the review. Oh, all right, God. Let us know what you guys thought about that. And let's move on to the
wet ass witches.
Wet ass, some witch ass pussy. Anyway, let's get a bucket and a mop for these witch ass. Anyway. All right, let's get into it. We're about to get into the last segment of the day, which is the official rundown. This is a special rundown of it. I almost put the picture of me and Tabitha.
I know.
I should have did it. I was thinking about doing it, but
I legit thought you were going to.
I was going to, but I was in the middle of I was in the middle of pre-production, but we're going to talk about The Fifth Element. 10 Things You Did Not Know About The Fifth Element is a movie that I love. Tabitha, you also love this movie as well.
I love this movie.
We're going to remind them a real quick story about this is how we met.
This is legit how we met because we were both dressed up in Fifth Element cosplays. I was Leeloo. He was Ruby Rhod.
Ruby Rhod here.
And he was doing such a good. And I saw him from across Kamapalooza and ran over there and was like, "Hey, hey!"
Joy, tell your part of the story. I almost didn't do it.
The first night he went as from Unbreakable.
Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
Oh, okay.
And he was going to wear it again. And I was like, why don't you wear the Ruby Rhod one? That one's funnier.
Yes, it's great.
He was like,
a bunch of cosmic coincidences. If I remember correctly, like you were like,
I was not going to walk around in my costume.
You were not going to walk around in that costume.
Like my best friend, I had worn a trench coat that was hers, and she's like, "Hey, let me see my coat," and me just like taking it off, going, "Okay," because I was nervous about the whole outfit, and because it's very exposed. And so she takes it and then she gives it to one of the kids and they go and take it to the car. And I was like, wait, no. So she made me walk around in my...
She made you embrace your Leeloo.
Yeah,
well,
my
I
Leeloo.
told him, I was like, I saw her. Not you. It was another.
There's another one.
I was like, I saw another Leeloo. So...
Yeah.
There
were two there that day.
I was like, maybe...
it was just two. I talked to both of y'all.
But he had way more attention with the Ruby Rhod. People
Oh yeah.
stopped
it was a bunch of cosmic
all day long.
The rundown, as you know, at this panel that we have right now would not be here today. It's a cosmic coincidence.
It really
If it wasn't for all these a series of great events that had happened, the universe put it in place. She wasn't gonna expose her costume. I was thinking I wasn't gonna wear it at all. Joy convinced me to do it. Then we did that, and we happened to be in the same. We did that for the same event. We were there that day, And then I said, "Hey, would you be interested in joining our show?" And then she was like, "Let me do a background check on you first before I go because you look a little sus."
That is not what I said.
And I was like, "It's just a wig. I'm bald, whatever." But before we run out of time, let's go in this. We're gonna do a tight 30 here. So here's the 10 things you might not have known, or you definitely did not know about our favorite movie, The Fifth Element. At the first one here, number one. Let me go full mass. Should I go full mass? Or I just keep the camera the way it is right now. Number one here. Let's see if it works. Is it gonna work? Nope.
You don't ever put it in
the
thing like that. You always put it in the middle.
There we go.
Okay.
Number one. Luc Besson, the director, reveals Willis was not his first choice. He said, "I had asked Mel Gibson first because he had an office next to mine at Warner Brothers lot." What do you think about this news? I mean, hindsight 2020. It probably would have still been a great movie.
I think they're literally like, to me, those are almost like the same sort of actor. Like,
so you think it would have?
It would have been fine either way. I think I like Bruce Willis in it just because I think Bruce Willis is a little bit better on the comedic side,
right?
Because he's just a little bit more serious. But I think that he could have still done it as well.
I mean, Lethal Weapon, man. Mel could he would have brought this thing. What about you, babe? What do you think? How would you have felt?
It would have been fine. I mean. That was in the time period when all the Lethal Weapons
in the 90s,
so.
Yeah. So he would have been good. I agree with that. The next one, that one had the number. Let's see. Let me see if I can scroll down. Number 2. This is definitely something I definitely did not know. Let's go in, as far as in the theme of characters. Leeloo. Oh, this is Elizabeth Berkley auditioned for Leeloo after Showgirls bombed.
Which Showgirls we all know
is the best movie ever made.
It's my awakening.
It's her awakening. Wow. But Joy, let me start because somebody's too excited over here. Joy, how would you have felt about Elizabeth Berkley?
I like Elizabeth Berkley. However, I don't think this is.
You don't think?
I don't think this
So you feeling the way the director felt. The director said that the reason why he chose who he chose was because she felt like Milla had a look for that a look of the past and of the future. She had a look that just kind of fit more, but
she has a more
Berkley
futuristic type look, whereas
Berkley she said she was just grateful that even getting the audition because she wasn't getting a lot of calls. Tabitha, what do you think about this news? How do you feel about Berkley being Leeloo?
I mean, she
try to take the hindsight out of it. Though.
I know she did bring me into my gay awakening, but
that pool scene, man.
Oh man, raw.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yes.
National treasure.
Thank you. All those booby scenes, great. But I honestly think she's a little too well endowed and too curvaceous for what the concept of the Fifth Element is. Like it needed to be a more androgynous.
She was a divine.
Yeah.
I think Milla Jovovich gives a more. I know she wasn't an alien, but the whole movie's very future.
But the androgynous side of it,
and she just had that.
Absolutely. I think she's the better pick for that role by far. I think they really picked well. Not to say that she couldn't have done a good job or anything, but I think she would have been almost too sexualized in that role.
I definitely would have sexualized her.
Yeah, to fill that role the way it needed to be filled, because you didn't need to look at her with a sexualized aspect, even though she was sexualized in it, but you also needed to have some innocence with it. Yeah, so that
makes sense. At number 3, the third thing, Milla Jovovich iconic bandage dress. She said, being in a hospital, they put a robe on you that is open in the back so that they can reach in and put injections and tubes. So you have to have as little as possible, but for the sake of modesty, you have to cover up. When people get wounded, they just put bandages to cover the necessary bits. And Luc, the director, and Jean Paul talked about the bandage idea, and Jean Paul was like, genius, I love it. Joy, I'm gonna start with you. What do you think about it? You're in the medical field. Is that true? That you only cover the bits?
No, I mean you're just wearing a gown.
The bits aren't technically covered once you move the gown.
But
she's talking about band-aids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just put a band-aid where the band-aid needs to be. So
yeah. The fourth thing before we end the show here. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I gotta put it up there. The fourth thing. Luc met with Jamie Foxx and Chris Tucker for Ruby Rhod, but his first choice was Prince, who would set up appointments. This dude would set up appointments and show up 7 days later. That's a Prince thing to do.
I love it.
Okay, you said you love it. What do you love about?
I love Prince. I mean, you can't go wrong with Prince being Prince. One, I think he could have.
That's just Prince being Prince.
It's just Prince being Prince. I think he could have absolutely done the role of Ruby Rhod, but I'm very happy that Chris Tucker did it because I think Chris Tucker gives it this sort of flair of his because that's sort of his personality.
I love Jamie Foxx.
Oh, yeah.
But they have two totally different styles.
Yeah.
And Chris Tucker's style fits
the flamboyantness.
Yes.
But I think Jamie would have done it, though. I think Jamie could have. He would have still. I mean, hindsight being 2020.
He does,
yeah. But I mean, I think Jamie would have.
I think he's too serious. I don't think it would have been very.
If not Chris Tucker, I could see Jamie Foxx.
If not
before Prince,
I would put Prince in it because of the femininity of Prince over Jamie Foxx.
I agree, but if I'm gonna pick actors, if not Chris Tucker, Jamie Foxx. If honestly, if back then, but this was before Ray. This was before, so. Jamie Foxx was in it. This was after Friday and before Ray, so I'm not surprised that Chris Tucker got it.
Yeah,
but I could have seen Jamie crushing this. I would not have been mad either way. I'm glad the way it went out. I think it was perfect because nobody saw that coming after Friday.
Oh, I love it.
It's not Jamie Foxx's lack of ability because he can do whatever. It's the fact that. So, I mean, I watched Jamie Foxx on In Living Color, and he dressed up as girls, and it was very, I'm a dude in a dress.
That's it.
He wore all of this feminine stuff, And
we were like, damn,
you
he's
were
doing it
like,
better than
you
me.
were thinking like Prince, like we don't.
I mean,
even,
the character was written
Yes.
to be gender fluid.
Yes, that's the
Right.
point. But
And you
Jamie
didn't-
Foxx can't do that.
right. You didn't look at Chris.
We don't-
You didn't look
you don't-
at
we
Chris
don't know
Tucker
that.
and
Yes,
go.
we do.
You didn't look at Chris Tucker and go.
I mean,
That's a
he didn't
dude."
get the role, so we don't know.
No, we know he can't do it based off of his previous concepts of trying to dress in women's clothes. I do not
But
think
that character was specific to that character. Ruby Rhod is not that character.
But what we're saying is Chris Tucker has a better ability to be fluid over Jamie Foxx.
It's the same
But-
thing. Like if you watch like RuPaul's Drag Race, they've had episodes where they took straight guys and dressed them up, and they weren't acting; they just dressed them up. Some of them look like beautiful women, and some of them look like a dude in a dress.
A dude in a
But
dress.
I feel like we're only basing that based
And
on
they weren't
that
doing any
character
acting.
from
They
in
just
Living Color.
couldn't pull it off. The look.
But that was that character in the Living Color. I think based on the way Ruby Rhod was written, I think Jamie's an actor. He would have given us.
It's not the actor part. I don't think. I'm not talking about that.
You think based on what
I'm
we
talking
saw, you
about
think
his
the
look.
mindset of the fans would not have accepted it?
People
or-
would have just seen that's a dude in a.
So I agree. I agree with Joy in this because it's not just based off of like the Living Color. It's kind of also based off of how Jamie Foxx's comedy, what his timing is, the way that, yes, he's an actor, but he has a style and he has a way that is ingrained in him. And I don't think that would have translated to this character and the way it was written. I don't think, because
It's
there's
like-
certain parts that aren't for
It's
certain
one of those
actors.
things like Prince dressed the way he dressed.
Oh, yeah.
And people were still just like, he's still a sexy man.
ass man. He was
And
a sexy ass
I
man.
agree. I know what you're saying.
And I don't
But-
think people would have seen,
Nope.
not his acting. We're not talking about acting.
We're talking about Jamie and that.
They could have tried to put him in a sexy outfit as possible, and people would have still been like, "That's a dude in a dress."
No, I see, and I see what you're saying and everything, but what I'm trying. How do I put this?
Did Jamie Foxx play a
No,
female?
Martin was Shanae.
That's what I was saying.
Martin played
Martin
himself.
also
No.
did Shanae.
No, remember the girl, Jamie Foxx. He wore a dress. He was in a Living Color. He had the big lips.
No,
with,
this person
that-
put he was Shanae and Martin's.
But I was like, no,
not Shanae.
Martin
No,
was
Martin was
Shanae.
Shanae.
But what, did he
Jamie
dress
Foxx-
up as something else?
Jamie Foxx was the girl with the.
He did Wanda
Wanda
and
with the
Wanda.
big curly.
That's what it was.
But you're saying based
Okay.
on all the things that Jamie Foxx did with that, it would not have fit because people would have. But think about it. Before The Fifth Element, what did Chris Tucker have? Friday.
But Friday, he was even feminine in.
No,
Look
he
at-
was not.
Yes, look at it. I'm so sorry, but his stance in the chair and his movements, he is a fluid man. I'm so sorry. He is a fluid ass man.
Him in Rush Hour with the
Yes.
I honestly
like
think
this?
that y'all are basing that.
Yeah.
I honestly think that was after Fifth
No,
Element.
I'm just
though.
saying that's
But
his
that's his
style.
style. That's him as a person. You're negating the fact that he just has the ability to be fluid.
I don't
Jamie
agree.
Foxx
I don't agree.
doesn't.
And I tried to say that a couple of times before. I said based on what we knew then. I mean, what we knew then. Friday. No, nobody was thinking that. I'm sorry. I was there. I'm like nobody was thinking
I watched
that.
then. I'm sorry, but as somebody
He
who's
came off as soft.
Yes, as somebody
But-
who's in the alphabet community, he is a fluid ass man, and the way he presents himself, his mannerisms, his movements, even in Friday. I know he was, being his thug self
Some
and
people
all, but
just have a pretty
they
face.
have, and they.
All right. I get it. I see. Let's
pretty face, so,
let's move on to it.
That was the best.
The next topic was number 5. Luc and Jovovich would speak in the divine language on
I actually
set.
heard about this though.
After that movie came
Yeah.
out, I learned that the divine language was actually real.
They
He really created
a whole language.
A language. I looked it up on America Online. I looked it up and whatnot, and it was there was an actual language. Jovovich and the director were getting fluent in it, and they would speak in it behind the scenes, so people wouldn't understand what they were talking about. They had full conversations.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's weird because they did talk about this though after
Yeah.
the movie came out. I remember them specifically going, "Hey, this was a real thing,"
Yeah,
which I
the
thought was
language
kind of
is real.
cool. Yeah.
What about you, babe? Did you ever speak in the divine language?
No. I
No.
don't know what that is. So.
The language that Leeloo spoke. And I also saw in the subtitles, they said that in the subtitles, there were subtitles in the movie when they talked in different languages, but whenever Leeloo would speak to Bruce Willis in the divine language, there were no subtitles because the director wanted us to be in the same mindset that Bruce Willis was in. Like, I don't understand what this woman is saying. And so it was a unique thing. The next thing after that was number 5. Number 6 goes to, let's see, go full mass here. Let's see, when the Modeshawans, if I'm saying that right, landed in Egypt to take the stones for safekeeping. The year was 1914. They claimed that they will be back when the great evil arrives in 300 years. This would take us to the year 2214. But when Corbin Dallas wakes up, he looks at a tiny screen next to his bed that clearly says the 18 March 2263 as the date. So it wasn't 2214. It was actually 2216. So it was a
few extra years.
That was a little detail in there. That they got like, all right, what the hell happened? It wasn't exactly 300 years later.
Only the nerds realize that.
Exactly, which makes it awesome. Get your shit together, Luck. Next fact. Here we have let me go. I forgot to go.
I never get any of those when we watch any of the like Marvel movies, and you go and watch these YouTube, and they'll be like, if at 5 minutes in the background in a window,
those Easter eggs.
Who was looking at any of that?
Yeah.
Like, how did you?
Everybody's looking at that.
Sometimes I catch them. Like, there's like these rare moments where I'll catch them, but most of the time I don't. So I'm on board with you on that. But
a lot of it's really tiny. Like, if you look, there's a picture, and in writing in the bottom corner. Who could even read that?
I will say the moment where I realized my true teeny bopper obsession is recognizing once I watched the Twilight movies after I had read, because I read the books before the movies ever came out. And then I was like, that's telling for this, because I already knew everything. So that is where I think the nerds, as I call them, get kind of a leg up on us on those sorts, because sometimes we don't know the backstory for these movies unless you were really into a comic or you knew that it had a book, things like that.
No, some of it's not even from the comics. It's really random.
Yes.
It's like, the director's favorite number is 7, and if you look in the corner underneath there's a 7, and you're like, what? Who was seeing that? And how do you know this?
I love that.
You got to go to the director's commentary for that. The director's favorite number. All right, the next thing, number 7, The Fifth Element. Valerian movie is not in the same universe, but there are Easter eggs. I saw the Valerian. Did you ever see Valerian?
I did. I liked it.
I loved it, and I remember thinking when I watched it, I was like, "This reminds me of The Fifth Element." And then I realized later, like, oh shit, it was the same director.
Yeah.
And people was like, this has to be in the same universe. Now there are according to the internet, there's Easter eggs, but I didn't notice.
I didn't notice them, but I did know that it was
the
like
same director,
and that it had all these similarities in the sense of the stylistic aspect of the movie, which I dug because, of course, I love The Fifth Element.
I thought that was great. Babe, did you ever see Valerian? No.
I thought it was a really good
movie.
It
reminded me of Fifth Element, but I was like, I felt at the time, I was like, are you trying to be like Fifth Element, not knowing that it was the same guy? So that was probably one of the things I was mad about. I'm like, why are you trying to be the Fifth Element? Fuck yeah. But number 8, the black stuff that was in The Fifth Element. It was not blood. It is a substance that reveals the presence of the evil force. A lot of people thought it was blood.
Yeah, because I actually went and looked this up. I remember trying to figure out. I was like, what the hell is falling out of his head? Yeah, that's not blood. That is not what blood looks like.
That was some evil sweat.
Yeah. I remember that being like a really common question, and me going and searching out the answer back then. And I was like, okay, well that makes sense now.
A lot of evil sweat happening on that one.
Even as he takes the towel.
That was the willy wiper is what we know.
Oh God!
I won't go into further detail on that. Where the hell is? I'll move that out the way. Oh, it's fine. The next thing, let me go full screen here. The next one is.
I love this one. This one is my favorite.
Let's see. Let me go full screen here. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I forgot to change it right here. Oops, and I forgot to change the lower third. In the final moments of the movie, a scientist says that there's exactly 1 minute left before the planetoid representing the evil strikes the Earth. Then it takes the heroes nearly 2 minutes to activate the fifth element and to get the job done.
I was that person who was like, this
were like,
is
what?
entirely longer than a minute.
Yeah. Don't you hate that?
There's always like, we got 5 seconds to deactivate the bomb, but it takes like
10. It's a 10-minute scene.
you're like-
Yes. Do you ever hold your breath in like a water scene?
Yes. Every time somebody dives underwater, I hold my breath
Just to see if you can do
that I'm better than you. I would have survived this. Or there's no fucking way you held your breath for 35 minutes.
Oh my God.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah. We always think that we're the only ones that do
I know.
that shit.
I was like, somebody else has to be this ridiculous.
Everybody does this. Yeah, everybody is that ridiculous on it. The last fun fact, the thing that you did not know about the fifth element, Leeloo is a supreme being of the universe. It is implied that there is more than one. Being genetically superior to humans and virtually flawless, Leeloo is a perfect specimen of human health and fitness. Leeloo was not one of the Modoshawans who were friends to humans, but her original version lived among the Modoshawans. That was one of the things when I first saw the movie that confused me. I thought, like, was she the one in that big suit or that got stuck in the...
No. Yeah. So what I liked was that there was this implication that because she was a created weapon, a supreme being, that there could be multiples. There could be more than one protecting all these worlds from evil.
She was the supreme being that represented human, the human side of the...
Yes.
And all that. But do you remember that part of the movie when they recreated her and when she was being cloned and all that stuff? How much of the movie do you remember?
I haven't seen it in a long time.
we got to do a rewatch. Maybe we should do a commentary of it.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
That would be something you like.
You and I could not probably shut up through that entire movie.
Yeah, I know.
And we have to do it in costume.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time that we should do a show in those costumes that we wear at Comicpalooza. Actually, my friend Sean told me that I should do in costume. I should do Ruby reviews. I should do.
That would be great, actually.
As Ruby Rhod.
That would be amazing.
I'm like, and every time I start the show, I'll probably be like, okay, guys, it's Ruby Rhod still alive. That's my favorite line from him when he was getting the splinters pulled out of his fingers, and he goes, "Ow! What's wrong with you? It hurt." I think Jamie Foxx would have crushed that.
No, absolutely not.
What's wrong with you?
That's strictly Chris Tucker.
I thought that would have.
The buzz shit.
I was literally about to say that the buzz thing, Jamie, that was probably a Chris Tucker made up thing.
Yes, that is Chris Tucker.
But hindsight 2020, Jamie Foxx might have made up something totally different.
No, I am backing Chris Tucker on this one.
Yeah, but based on the information that you have, if you would have had a split universe where you could have seen both performances, there is a chance.
There is not a chance.
You don't know that.
I know it based off of the visual of Jamie and how I perceive his comedy to be and his history. And because I do have the futuristic knowledge of seeing what he does in futuristic movies that didn't exist at this time, I can assess that I don't think he would be good for the role.
The director of Ray did not even know that Jamie Foxx had classical piano training.
Everybody knew this.
He didn't know.
Well, then he didn't do his damn research.
It was Jamie Foxx's idea to have this prosthetic eye to actually blind himself to create that movie. We don't know that Jamie Foxx would have brought that. He could have brought the extra gender fluidness to that character. Just like he did with Ray. You're just protecting Ruby Rhod based on what you already know. Babe, come on. Help me out. Jamie Foxx.
Ha!
She's like, no, Prince all day.
Yes. I can get behind Prince. Yeah. I could get behind Prince. Fun. I'm all for Prince. By the way, I got notified of some, I don't know if we want to call it like right now news or whatever that just happened. Supposedly, Elvis Presley's Lisa Marie Presley.
She had cardiac arrest earlier.
Yeah,
today.
she passed.
Oh, wow.
So
I don't think she died.
I've heard.
Did she? I know she got taken to the ER.
I think she finally passed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Lisa Marie Presley. So we'll look that up. So
Yeah.
that's wild. I loved her in the Naked Gun movie. Was it Lethal? That's a Naked Gun that she was in.
I think that's the name of a
Yeah,
movie. Yeah,
Lethal
yeah.
Weapon. And that's the only thing I know of her. I mean, obviously being married to Elvis Presley, but when she launched her acting career in comedy with the Naked Gun movies, that's what I mostly know her from the nice beaver line and then the whole the line about her that attack in that motel. Was it a motel or a hotel? So like the Naked Gun movies was what I know at least. So oh, wow, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that if that's happened. What about?
Breaking news.
Yeah,
Thank
she
you.
did.
She did pass.
She passed.
They her, it's technically her ex-husband, but they still lived together.
Yeah.
Found her unresponsive when he got home from picking kids up from school.
Oh,
Wow, that's sad.
And they worked on her for a long time, took her to the hospital. It doesn't say what all happened. It just said
She passed.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. Well, anything else in the? I know we're an hour. We're 45 minutes now. We flew right past my tight 30. Anything in the comment section that we want to put a spotlight on or
Supposedly we're heading out to the parking lot, you and I.
to fight?
Yeah.
All right, that's likely. It is a Thursday. The Last of Us is going to be great, especially due to the actors chosen for the role. Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
this game, guys. I'll catch up to the comment section if there's something in there that'll fit for We Got Your Mail. Me and Navigator Nixon will tackle that next time we're on. I'm gonna post the We Got Your Mail that was supposed to be posted for last week, but I had so much to do. I'll post it this Saturday. Where we answer your guys' question. Thank you guys for watching this latest episode of The Rundown, which was supposed to be a tight 30, and I was almost there. So close. Tight 45 is what we call it on this one. To my right, I want to thank Tabitha Jordan for joining us today. Jordan, where can we find you online?
So you can get me on TikTok at Let's Have Fun 012 or on Instagram at tabitha.jordan.18.
And my better half right here to my left, Joy Fagan, where can we find you online?
I have a TikTok that is Just Joy, and I have Instagram, Scrub Hats and More by Joy, and an Etsy Scrub Caps and More by Joy. Why they're not the same, I don't remember. I think it wasn't available or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Tell it to the judge. All right, guys. If you want to find me, that's Chris W. Fagan on all the social media platforms, or you can just reach out to us at T3 Medias. I'm the one monitoring that. Send me all your questions, your comments, concerns, or if you have something that you want us to run down. I'm reaching out to people. Say your top favorite horror movies or the best movies with the greatest sex scenes. I don't care. Whatever the rundown is, whatever you want us to run down, send us your list, your top 5, top 10, top 20, whatever you got. And if it's something that we should talk about on the show, maybe we'll talk about it right here on The Rundown, guys. Thank you guys for joining us for another week of entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans, as the tagline goes. I want to say that this show was brought to you in front of a live studio audience of
Cheeto the cat?
Yeah.
Of who?
Cheeto the cat?
Cheeto
No,
was here.
Of people who want to see Prince in The Fifth Element.
Okay.
I mean, I do.
Would have been cool.
Or people who are cool with husbands having accessories in the bedroom. Not happening? No? Not going to do it?
Not
All right.
that kind.
All right. Not that. All right. Well, yeah, you heard it here first, guys. Till next time, guys. Have a good one. Have a happy.
Guys, that's the end of this episode of The Rundown. Remember to like this video, become a subscriber, and share. This really does help us out. And click here or here. Thanks for watching.